Hey everybody, it's I, Stippling Vaughn. I'm here at my local dive bar, you can see from the other side of the booth, and I'm still working on this Star Wars piece. Even though I'm going to do the time-lapse video on this guy today, I'm going to work on his hair because I need to move the piece of paper around. I've discovered that when I do my time-lapse videos, where the time-lapse video works its best is when the paper is immobile. Because it's time-lapse, it just doesn't look as good when the paper's bouncing all around different positions. So I'm going to work on the hair today just to get that done, and then I'll go do the time-lapse video for the rest of it. So, now, you can make fun of me if you want. It occurred to me today, this week, when I was watching Monday's video, Shane and Yanzi, and they do very good morning videos. And how they present it is, they present it like how you would do a persuasive paper, okay, or a debate, if you will, okay? They present the argument, they then provide the opposing side's argument. Then they give their rebuttal, and when they give their rebuttal, they provide facts for that rebuttal. It's not emotional. All the information they provide is based on facts. So it comes across as a debatable counterpoint, if you will. They don't muddy it down with emotions. It sticks straight to facts. And they do a very good job of that. How they do it is they present the argument. Many times it's based off of an article or articles. Usually they pick a specific article. Yanzi then reads the article. Basically, if it was a debate, she would be presenting the point of the argument. Shane then, using his years of experience within the industry, provides the counterpoint. Along with the counterpoint, he backs it up with facts. Okay, whether he brings the facts up or whether he brings it up or supports the counter argument with his own experience. So it's like, when I was with DC, it would be like this, or Marvel, when I was doing some work for Marvel. So he presents the counterpoint, which is very well done. Again, it's not like his drunk streams where he goes in a rant and he spirals. He presents the information based on facts, and that is how you win arguments, is based on facts. So I found it very, very, I always liked how Shane and Yanzi did their videos, but I guess I'm slow. It occurred to me how they're doing it and why their argument comes across so well when they provide the counter point, whereas others may just do rants based on emotion. Theirs are based solely on the evidence in front of them. You can say the empirical evidence. And like I said, Shane bases it on his real life experience. You can't negate real life experience. Real life experience will always defeat a theory. When you provide real life experience of something working versus a theory that won't work. I know many times in my youth, I spent many years working retail, and there are many times where it would present the theory to me, and I'm like, that's a theory. This is fact. And I mean, you got to go with the facts of what's successful, not the theory of what the business wants to do. I remember when Sears was doing their, they had a one of those clubs. You get points from your purchases and everything. And the company was more interested in that than actually providing good service and providing sales for the customer. And I saw it time and time again. I mean, where is Sears? Okay, there's going to be people watching this video who are like, what is Sears? Or, oh, I remember that was a place my parents shopped at. Are they still around? No, they're not around because they lost focus on what they need to do to be successful. Now that can be debated further with with Eddie Lambert. He completely drove the company into the ground. The facts behind that statement is because the company is not around anymore. So, but okay, let's see here. Hair's good. Yeah, I can do the rest of that. I can do the rest of this when I do the time-lapse video. So we'll go over here. Over here, I've got Fen Shira. He was from the comic book. They did a story arc with Princess Leia, and she went to this planet looking for Han or clues where to find Boba Fett, and she came across him. And this is before we knew about the Mandalorians, and they were kind of like throwing it out there. And he was a good guy character, and so that's where where the image of him came from, and why you have a helmetless Boba Fett, if you will, in the image. It's not Boba Fett, it's Fen Shira. So, and then I finally got Shira put in here. So, and Shira, I drew her up, and then I had to really push the shadows to make her dark, because I want her coming out of the darkness, because remember, she was a Imperial spy who Luke ended up shooting her down by accident before he realized that she was a spy. And then he had to go and exonerate himself to prove to the Rebel Alliance that he acted accordingly when he was able to get the evidence that she was a spy. So I wanted her like coming out of the darkness. So more so than how I have these other characters. Kind of see how I've got this guy here, how he kind of bleeds into the background, and how like the dark, I'm gonna have like very heavy darks on her, like here and his hair, whereas others over here I've just got the tone. So but no, so getting back, so Shane and Yanzi did a great job. Also this week on the Professionals, we had on the Professionals, you know what, I'm going to work up here on her. So we'll turn the page upside down. So this week on the Professionals, those are on Andy Smith's channel, and he posed the topic of conversation, and that is art school needed for being successful in the comic book industry? And they both, everybody, all six of them, posed very good arguments why you do or do not. Okay. First and foremost, if you got it, you got it. Okay. There's some people who can learn it. There's those that won't. And they were very truthful. I know it could be argued that I should not have gone all 3 years to the Kubrick School because I didn't have it. Okay, and just because I went to the school for all 3 years wasn't going to guarantee me a job in the industry. Okay, I did all 3 years. I am a graduate of the school. I'm glad I did. I learned a lot. And but overall, it comes down to, if you got it, you got it. What going to school does is going to a art school. It does provide you with the tools to succeed, but in some ways, I see where I wish schools would go further. I know with the Kubert School, I personally didn't feel that on the business end that the school went far enough. I would have preferred if the business end of the school was incorporated into all classes. And I mean more than just the teachers discussing their own personal experiences during class. Something more formal would have helped. I think a perfect example would have been the concept of having to do your taxes and how you got to do your taxes quarterly. I personally think that any art school, whether it be first year or whether it's your first year there or your final year there, the business end of like doing your taxes and whatnot, that needs to be continuous from the first day. You should be doing, even if it's mock taxes, you should be doing mock taxes from your very first year all the way through to graduating. That way you're accustomed to it and you're aware of what's going to happen. I know I got scared to death when they started bringing it up about doing taxes in the final year. I would have preferred if they'd done like I said, done something with mock taxes. And set your pencils aside, put the paper aside. Okay, here's what your mock taxes are going to be. And that's one of your assignments you had to do as a first year student, was do mock taxes. I would have loved that. That would have really gotten me like, okay, is this something you're willing to do? Specifically when you're going paycheck to paycheck many times as a freelance artist. So I would have preferred it. But overall, I like the show a lot. I do stand behind what I said when I put in the chat how I think the Kubert School should give Graham, because remember, Graham said he did not graduate from the school. He went to community college, went to the Kubert School, ran out of money, went back to doing local college, then went back to the Kubert School again, ran out of money again. He had enough. He'd learned enough, and he had it. That's the thing. He had it, but he wasn't able to. He was successful even though he didn't complete the school. I think with him, as successful as he's been in the industry, he's proven that if he'd been able to stay those 3 years, he would have graduated. So I think that maybe that's what I need to do. Is I need to reach out to the school and present an argument why he deserves a diploma, even if it's an honorary one, that his achievement within the industry warrants him to be given. I mean, you think about it. I mean, they give these honorary doctorships to presidents left and right, and so it's like you'll have these presidents with the fancy with the gown with the fancy colorful bib on, or the fur, and they're being honored as an honorary graduate of this school because it's some luxurious school. I think Graham, in his what he's done. He's more than earned, even if it's an honorary one. He deserves a diploma from the school because of his contribution and success in the industry. That's the main thing. His success in the industry, I think, is really what gives him why he should be awarded the diploma. So, but no, I just enjoyed it very much. And then the following night, Graham had Kelly Jones and Matt Wagner on with those guys closing out their campaign for Dracula. And they did it just from Kickstarter. And anybody who knows me knows I don't like Kickstarter. There's only been 2 times in the last 3 years, actually the last 10 years or more, that I've backed a book on Kickstarter. And other than that, I don't. And there's a lot of projects I've seen on Kickstarter. I'm like, wow, that's really good. But I don't like how Kickstarter does it. I don't like how they take the funds from your account. And that's the reason why I back on other platforms. And I think, and as I said, I said this, I could, for whatever reason, it wasn't let me do a super chat. So I could just put it as a comment in the chat. Then when Kelly Jones did a Facebook post, I put it in the comment section of his Facebook post. And here the guys hadn't even been aware of even consider doing a crowdfunder in a second platform until I guess that morning. Okay, and the thing is, as my argument why they should is Doritos brand corn chips. Okay, Doritos did not become Doritos by just having their products sold in one store. They are, you can go anywhere. It doesn't matter what chain, doesn't matter what food chain or even gas station chain or convenience store chain you go to, you can find Doritos there to be purchased. And that's what they need to do. They need to look at how can I maximize getting this out to as many people, to give as many people as possible the option to back this book. And you do that by going on multiple campaign platforms. You have that by not just having it on Kickstarter, have it on Indiegogo. You may not do as well as you did on Kickstarter, but having it as an option is you reach more backers. More importantly, here's the key thing. When you are doing a campaign where you're funding it, your overall goal when doing it is you want to get that cost for producing the book as low as possible. So if you only have the money to make 1,000 books, it's going to cost you a certain amount of money. If you can get it to the point where you can get 10,000 books manufactured, that lowers your printing cost, which lowers the cost of the book, which means that you're increasing your profit. So I'm very, very, very strong advocate for getting onto as many platforms as possible. And that's the reason why when the following night when Billy had, oh gosh, I can't remember his first name, his last name's Smith, the creator of Bone, okay, the creator of Bone. In the chat, and Billy saw it and he posted it and read it, is, did Doritos become Doritos by selling through one store? No. Be Doritos. Get on as many platforms as possible to crowdfund it. You've already made your funding goals. Because you've made your funding goals on Kickstarter, you can now have a lower funded goal of like $50 on Indiegogo, and whatever sales you make goes to the manufacturing of the book, so you can get the book at a lower printing cost. You also reach a different fan base, because there are fans that are loyal, just like there are people that are loyal to Lowe's, and there are people that are loyal to Home Depot. There are people that will only shop at one. Why would you want to not try to get both customers? So you should have the book available on both platforms to get as many people as possible. Because that's what it is. Because you're not relying anymore on Marvel or DC doing the work to try to get it into stores. You're doing that yourself. If your goal, after you're done doing all your crowdfunding, is then now have the material to get it published into local comic book stores, then you're not doing, I don't know if I'm posing this correctly, I guess the big thing is that people are moving towards crowdfunding like they would going into a local comic book store. And so if you have people that are favorable to one comic book store and not another, you need to get onto as many stores as possible / as many platforms as possible. So I'm a very strong advocate of it. And so that's the reason why if you're ever watching a show where they're talking about crowdfunding and somebody using one platform versus another, it's like, no, do both. Okay? And take a look at how successful Andy Smith was because he did both platforms. Look at how successful Billy Tucci is because he does both platforms. Okay? Graham Nolan, up to his success, has done it that way. I think Graham should be pushing himself further. He only did it with Two-Fisted Manly Tales, but I think he should push himself, and he should have his book available on multiple crowdfunding platforms, just like you would try to get yourself into as many local comic book shops as possible. Treat these crowdfunding platforms like a local comic book shop. So, okay, that's about enough for now. But yeah, if your goal is to make as much money as possible, to get the printing costs as low as possible, then you definitely need to get yourself onto as many platforms as possible. So, yeah, I know it's not a great face. I have faith though when I ink that, it'll look a lot better. Right now it doesn't look that good, but I know it's going to look 10 times better once I have it done. I mean, you can see where I've got it already started. I'm probably going to pull in more blacks into the hair. I'll be pulling in, so like just this part here will be the white, this part will be a white, the bridge of the nose will be a white. The rest will all be black or dark tones. So I have faith in it. Hey everybody, I'm going to keep working on this. You enjoy your day, and remember, life is stressful, and that's why you take it all one dot at a time.